Okay, I wanted to make a video about a very important point, and it is that there will come a time in the not too distant future where feminism will have run its course. I mean it's already past, shall we say, its zenith, and it's on the wane, but there will be a time when it's finished and done. And I will reiterate that feminism was never instituted for the betterment or well-being of women. It was instituted purely to manipulate them. And the more I've grown as a man and understand what I see around me, the more I am aware of the absolute truth, which is self-evident, which was attacked by the lies of feminism, which is that women are completely and utterly different to men. There is no equivalence at all. The very reason that sex, i.e. the male and the female, exist is to provide for that difference. Otherwise, sex wouldn't exist. There would be no difference between men and women, and there clearly is a massive and wild difference. If you want to undermine the men of a society, those who have the responsibility for running the society for the provision of women, then you attack masculinity and manhood so as to weaken the men, and you artificially apply an equivalence or equality between men and women so as to reduce everybody to the condition of the female. You inhibit men by acting so as to make everything super safe, which is the whole purpose of this health and safety nonsense that we see around us. It's not about saving lives, it's not about having people in a safe condition, it's about weakening the male aspect of society. And there will come a point whereat, and it's coming, and I can see it, it may already be here, I see it all around me, whereat people are so completely disillusioned with the feminist nonsense that they reject it. And that isn't actually the result of people telling them to reject it. It's a natural thing, because a lie has a life, what would you call it, a natural course. It has an end. Eventually the truth is revealed. So the more people have observed the nonsenses of feminism and the results of that problem around them, there's a point, a tipping point, shall we say, whereat anyone's logical, rational brain looks at the situation and says, nope. And that's it. At which point the lie has run its course and the truth is either revealed or the journey towards revealing the truth is sought and begins to be engaged in or embarked upon by people naturally. And that's what's happening. And yes, there are still some instances where people are still kind of stupid and they just go along with things, not knowing the damage that they're causing to themselves and their own society. But there is a point, and it's been reached now, really, whereat the truth is just everywhere. And people can see the damage that's been done by the lie. And I've tried to say this about 3 times now. There is a point at which the male the masculine, the men of society, will basically absolutely reject this lie of feminism and merely resume control, because the men were lied to in a rational sounding way. So they were like, okay, well, maybe I can give this a chance. And enough time and enough evidence has been accrued now by which anyone's brain can see the truth that this thing was merely a lie. And I'm pleased about this. So the time has come really for men to basically say to women, you need to take a back seat now, we've got this, we'll take back charge. And the thing is that there are also enough women who see it as well. Truly. When I first started to really get to grips with this problem when I was in my 20s, it was very difficult to even talk to women about it, because they would immediately regurgitate the nonsense that they'd been fed, which was, oh, that's sexist, blah, 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 blah. And the more I was rebutted by that response, the more I presented it to my rational brain, and I had to say, okay, what is the truth here? And every time I came back to the same correct conclusion, that feminism is a clear and abundant nonsense. And so I would return to a situation wherein I would discuss the topic with women. And I got better at it at the same time as more and more evidence showed itself in the world, through which women were able to kind of see the nonsense for what it was. And those two things, me getting more experienced at presenting women and men with the truth, and them having been exposed to more evidence of that truth, has made it a lot more easy to get through to anyone about this topic. There's no one alive who I can't talk to about feminism and have them understand the nonsense of it within 5 minutes. It doesn't daunt me at all. It's just so easy. But at first it was tricky, because you had to get a feel for all of the aspects of the lie that had been created so as to get it in place in the first place. But once you understand the whole thing, it's very easy to undo it. So there's a point at which people have, or there has been a point reached whereat people acknowledge the truth. However, what they don't have is a real route forwards, other than just undoing and dismantling this lie and producing basically the clarity necessary to see reality, because they have to get rid of the nonsense from their brains. And it's tricky, and it's difficult, because people don't know what normality is like. I do, because I grew up in a situation where feminism hadn't really massively had the impact that it has had, and it hadn't been used to enable crimes to be committed on a massive scale, like the COVID crime. That crime was committed and enabled by feminism. It wasn't committed by feminism, it was enabled by feminism, because the safety aspect is exactly what women are vulnerable to. If you tell a woman, this is the safest way of doing things, even if it's irrational, she'll leap at it. If you tell a man, this is the safest way of doing things, and yet it's irrational, he'll be like, no, I'm not doing it. And this is evident whenever you work in, for example, or see work in heavy industry. If you tell a load of men, wear this frilly thing that's for your safety, they'll look at it like it's covered in vomit, like it's a rejectable thing. Women will never do that. They don't have the instinct for risk. They are risk averse. So if you tell women, this is for your safety, they'll go, oh, how wonderful, oh, we're being protected, blah, blah. Because you can imagine throughout history, that's how women have had to behave. The men have taken the risks so as to protect the women. And the women are like, oh, thank heavens, that problem's solved. So the male and the female aspect are completely and utterly different. Completely and utterly different. And if you want to control a society and you've disempowered the men, well, all you have to do is say, okay, women, this is for your safety, and then you blame any man who says, no, that's nonsense. And say, well, he's just trying to make everyone live in danger. And this is the poison of feminism. Now, it becomes very dangerous when you introduce things like AI, because all you have to do is suggest to women through AI that a certain course of action or decision is for their benefit. And I've seen it routinely. Routinely, women, not all, but the vast majority of women, if you present them with the safe option, will just dive on it. Feverishly, ravenously. They're like, give me safety. And it's craziness. But when it comes to men, if you offer them a safe option, they'll be like, no, thank you very much. I'll take my risks, thank you. That's the nature of the species. That's what we're designed for. Men are there to take risks. Women are there to avoid risks. Or not there to avoid risks, but they do avoid risks. So this is the manipulation that has been effected. Now, who did it? In a way, it doesn't matter, but if you do a little bit of digging, you can figure it out. And you have to be intelligent enough to do that. Not everyone is. Not everyone will be. But if you are intelligent enough, you can figure it out for yourself, and a lot of people have. What must be done about it is a different topic, really. But I'm merely commenting on the fact that women have been used to create a situation whereby the whole of society is vulnerable to control of a massively, I don't know how you put it, overreaching nature due to the feminists' nonsense. And once again, I reiterate, feminism is not something that was created by women or for them. It was created by a particular group of people, probably a mixture of male and female. I think they were, actually, who were doing so to try and protect their own people as they lived among the people of the nations of this world. And if you want to understand what their plan is, just look at globalism. They want to delete nations, yet have their own systems in charge of everyone else. That's what's happening. And it's really going to blow up in their faces very badly, because it's an impossibility. It cannot be. It's against human nature. It won't work. And I think that they're beginning to realize it too. And I think that the answer, in the most charitable set of circumstances, would be to sit at the table with these people and express an understanding of the situation, because they are unfortunately quite dangerous. Not ultimately dangerous, but that the potential for the damage they could do is enormous. So I think that what has to happen is we have to be open to dialogue with these people. And that seems like I say, the most charitable course of action. The least charitable course of action is perhaps something which is rather well, the point is that the most charitable is an ideal. So it's this is just a simple video to describe what's happened and what's happening currently. There is a point being reached at which men are just going to say, women, thank you very much, you have to take a back seat now. And that's the end of feminism. And it's done. So, enjoy the future.